back. Welcome to December. How exciting.
Holiday period.
Yeah, so with only a few weeks out until Christmas and the holiday season and, the new year, what are your thoughts on, ways that we can make sure that everyone stays safe and protected in the lead up to the holiday period?
Look, I'm going to be a little bit controversial here and skip the usual employee safety, device safety, and I'm going to move straight on to one of my almost hobby horses, and that is around data protection, and particularly for organisations that have got structured backup processes that they may have set up themselves or they may have set up a long time ago and not actually revised recently, and particularly around a part of that which is known as the retention period of backups. So your retention period, as the name suggests, is how long you retain each backup for. And most people wouldn't think too much about that. I've got backups, I've got 14 days worth of backups, so I can recover anywhere in the last 14 days, which is absolutely on the money. Until you come to periods like holidays, when most staff members will take a 3-week break over Christmas. Business might be closed for 2, you take an extra week off. 3 weeks, you've earned that over the year. And they don't give much thought to what a data retention period of, say, 14 days in a 3-week break might mean. And that could be something as simple as before you go on leave, you're shutting down, getting ready to go, and you accidentally delete a folder full of files. Now, the backup that happens that night that is your last day, well, it's not going to have those files in it. And in 14 days' time, those files are not going to be available anywhere. And then when you come back after your 3 weeks and you go, oh my, where did those files go? You've got no way of recovering that information. So that's, in a nutshell, what your retention period is. So it's very, very important from an organisational perspective to understand that retention periods shouldn't necessarily be fixed to, say, 14 days. You might want to say, we've got a backup every day for 14 days, but then we might need to have a weekly backup that we retain for 4 weeks, which is essentially then giving you a 4-week period of retained files. You might then want monthly backups going back 6 months, which means, in effect, you can get back any file that's been changed in the last 6 months. And that adaptive retention period, sometimes called a GFS or grandfather, father, son arrangement, gives you a much longer retention period without having to retain every backup for that period of time. And it just helps you over the holiday period when you might be away for 3 weeks to be able to get something back. You might be able to get the latest data back, but you're going to be able to get something back out of that period. So, biggest tip I can give people before they go, check your backups, make sure your retention period is longer than what your longest period of leave is for your key people, and test your backups. See if you can actually recover a file and make sure that you know that you're going to be okay. That would be my biggest tip for this period.
And so with that, if people say only do have the 2 weeks or the 14 days, how exactly do they go about changing that, either just for this period specifically, or if they go, oh, that's a great point, I might implement that into general cadence?
Yeah, look, good question. It really depends on what platform or product you're using. Most of them will have a way to either increase, either temporarily or permanently, the number of days that you're actually retaining backups for. They might also allow you to take a point in time snapshot so that you've got, here's the final backup before everyone goes on leave, and we need to actually protect that or quarantine that from deletion over that 14-day period or 21-day period. So there's a number of ways you can go about that. If your platform doesn't have that, then maybe the first thing you should be doing in the new year is looking for an alternate backup platform to be able to support that. It's one of those things that it's often said there's 2 types of people in the world: those that have backups and those that have never lost anything. And you certainly don't want to be fitting into that category of people that have never lost anything, come back from Christmas and go, oh dear, we don't have anything that we need. Look, the other thing with those sorts of backups is they're also a really good insurance policy for potential malware attacks or ransomware attacks over the Christmas period. If all of your files are encrypted, if you've got a backup that's stored off-site or in the cloud, chances are you're going to be able to recover fairly quickly just by restoring your backup. If you don't have a backup, you're going to be in a situation where you have to choose between negotiating with a threat actor or wiping that data and starting from scratch. Neither of those are particularly appealing. So that's where your backups really come to the fore.
And if people have absolutely no idea how long they back up for or what they have available to them, is that something that we can help with?
Oh, look, absolutely. We can look at what is running in your environment, whether that's backing up your cloud-based services, backing up your laptops, backing up your servers. We can actually look at that for you. If we can't find any obvious ways, there are ways that we can talk to your finance department and see whether people are paying for subscriptions for backups. If there's nothing there, then we can rapidly deploy backups that can back up everything from your local hard drive on your laptop through to an on-site server, right through to Microsoft 365 cloud environments, even AWS, Amazon file services and things like that. We can back all of that up.
Excellent. So, any final parting words of wisdom before you'll head off on our holiday breaks?
2025 is almost over, and I think it's time everyone took a break and kicked back and enjoyed the cricket for the summer.
Absolutely. Well, happy holidays to everyone, and we hope you stay safe both in the cybersphere and as a person.
And go the Aussies.